Nuts. It's like something's blowing in my face. Oh! Ow! Right in the nut! Look at this. Look at that. Oh my God. That... oh, that was not fun. Hello everybody. Welcome to the show. Bass and Bonsai, out on the water. Don't believe me? Yeah, it's us. We're back. Right there. Right there's a bass. But this is Labor Day weekend, beginning of September. We went just a week or two ago, we had like highs in the 90s, now they're lucky to be in the 80s. So we've had like a overall 10-degree drop in temps. But like the morning temps have been the same way, so that, oh, you guys see it. Oh! Did you guys see that? I don't know if that's a case where you call, I totally missed that fish, or he totally didn't hit the bait right, but we got a little action already. The line went in between the GoPro and the mount, the mic. Oh my goodness, I'm back at the back of the boat, over around. One thing I do like about brightly colored braid, I can see what is going on. Now, if you guys saw that, that fish jumped completely out of the water. I'm gonna try to, there he is. I knew he had some action. I might have it right too tight on this bait. Well, it's not a very big fish. There we go. Okay. Whew. I think I can boat flip this dude. There we go. Oh, hold still. There we go. This bait, yesterday I tried it for a while. This color at that other place I go to, it does not work. That's another thing, you know, some colors and patterns and things transfer easily to other bodies of water. Some just do not. Yesterday anyway, I tried that bait, never caught anything, never had a little bite or nothing. You see that beautiful largemouth bass? Today right off the bat. And I figured, because I've used it in here before, I caught a monster out of here before with this bait. So that's kind of weird. Anyway, we're not on fire, but we're on the board. But I want to hit as much water as I can with these poppers before the sun's out and the popper bite like totally dies. Right there. So that's what we're going to do real quick. See how many of these little dogs we can catch. I want to kind of try the natural popper too, but a lot of times it's hard to put down a bait when it just flat out is catching every so many casts. But I may rig up the clear looking more ghostly one and try it too. I can see it, it's right here. And yes, we could use all these other ones, and I got a couple of them because that color works so good. But that's the one I was using. This is the one that came unhooked today, so get back in there. I don't know, sometimes I use the rubber bands, definitely on my bigger baits. Sometimes these littler ones, it's so hard to band up those little hooks. But I need to do it because that happens. All right, where were we? So this little more natural color, right there. Ooh, man, that was a monster. Get in here. It was. And that may be why they're just smaller. They were more intimidated. Microwave him for a little bit, make sure he's done. I'm done yet? And I did hook myself twice yesterday with these treble hooks. Both. These little ones are the hardest ones in the world. Ow! I got myself right in the spot. Look at that little dude. Mama. Okay. This rod does it, and that's why I'm going to add the handle. I've talked about it. It feels good when you're palming it, but man, when you're casting it, it feels not good. But the overall length, action, even how it feels right here is good. I'm going to put a different handle just for the overall looks for what I like and how it feels when you're casting. and that little bit more weight, it'll be a little better balance for me. I like that. It kind of feels tip heavy right now. So when I add the handle for comfort, I'm also going to add it for the overall balance and feel, a little weight. Right out in the middle. Just check that little hole right there. Oh yeah. Get in there. Get in there. We're going to fix this rod and reel. Yes, we are. But the rod still works. Oh, you guys got a good look at him. I'm going to let him sit here. Help get himself loose. We're coming across something right here too. Make sure he's played out. You can see it's, I don't know, just a half-pound fish. You can boat flip them, but anything heavier I wouldn't recommend with this rod. Beautiful largemouth bass. Welcome to the show, Bass and Bonsai casting shootout video. We've got 2 rods and 2 reels that think they are top dog in the AliExpress world, that is. But what we're doing today is I beached myself right here. We're going to cast straight out with these 2 rod and reel combos and see, got the same bait. And I may switch and use that one just because it's brighter and you guys will be able to see it better. But we're going to see just pure distance. I'll only be able to give you tell you how they feel. You won't be able to see the ease of casting if one's easier than the other. But look for the other videos. I have fished these, one morning and one afternoon, just the way they're set up right now, and I'll give you my thoughts on that and the overall shootout, which one casts further, which rod reel combo. I may switch them around because this does have a lighter spool. So stay tuned, buckle up, hang on, look forward to this shootout video coming up right now. Okay, let's take a look at the contenders. We have, yes, it's 2 of the exact same reel, other than one is the newer upgraded version. If you follow the channel, you'll know that this is the PW100. I've had it a couple years. It's the one I recommended out of the AliExpress arsenal. There's a bunch of AliExpress BFS reels now. This is their newer updated version. It's been out probably a couple years now also, but this one came out first and then this one shortly after. And I always just thought that I was looking at, a bling factor. I was looking at purple stuff and, made it more blingy and people would buy it over this one. Then I don't even remember exactly how, but I figured out, I'm slow sometimes, that this is a gram lighter spool than this. So therefore in the BFS world and going lighter than these baits, this should cast down way smaller than this with ease. And this one came with this clicker. Okay, this one has it, but it didn't come with it. I added that. It is louder. The one I added is louder than the stock one. But that are the reels. Pretty much same thing, still what I recommend. I do have some other reels coming from AliExpress, and we're going to have a shootout with those when they come in against this bad boy. But then also the 522 SUL, I was recommending this if you wanted the lightest weight BFS, super ultralight, awesome rod overall. But I did break it, but it was me being stupid with 10-pound. I basically had a 10-pound leader. I slapped a reel from another rod on it, and I don't even know what I was doing, but I was sitting there holding my thumb on this, pulling this down, by hand, and I snapped this rod. I'm not going to pull that hard now, but I was basically doing something stupid and it snapped. And when I realized, I looked at the rating, which I knew it's only rated for like 3 pound. I still have it overweight. I think that is 8 I've got on it now. So I had the drag loose. But if you hold your finger on this and pull down, you will break it. So I did break that rod. Fixed it. It's fixed. Still, I don't even know if I can tell any difference. It works just as good as it did before. But this, and as you'll see, this is one I have to recommend right now if you want something, say, comparable to the 522. I still like the bigger kinds over like this, even the The 632 or the 662 is still probably my favorite right in that area. Overall BFS rod. But if you want that super ultralight to throw the lightest of baits with the best of ease. And Charles, if you guys remember fishing with Charles over down in the strip pits and places, my best friend back in high school. I hardly see anybody nowadays, so I don't have any friends. I don't feel sorry for me. But anyway, he was fishing with one of these, and man, this little rod, I was like, well, let me see that thing. Heck, he was throwing bigger weights, and he was catching fish, and he was throwing lightweight baits, and, you know, caught some decent fish. And I think he told me, he was like, yeah, it's only $25 on AliExpress, comes with 2 tips. I'm like, huh? I thought I'd, you know, had spotted some of the good deals on AliExpress. So I looked this up, and I'm pretty sure, yeah, I think you can get it with the ultralight. You can get a light and an ultralight, or you can get 2 lights or 2 ultralights. I think you can pick which way you get it. And I think I got 2 ultralights because I felt his light. I don't like his light. Like, it felt too solid straight through, like it doesn't taper enough and get light enough for me. But so I ordered 2 of the ultralights. I got the other one sitting around somewhere. So yeah, for like under $30, you get a spare tip. You break it, whatever happens, you get stupid. I'd order one, you know, if you're wanting an ultralight, or you could do both. But then you have a spare tip, a backup tip, which is awesome because I could actually use that for my 632, which is out of commission right now. Olivia broke it. Same thing, she was stuck. She puts her thumb on thing because the drag's going, and she yanks, and, you know, I fish with 10-pound leaders typically, and I think it's only rated for like 6 or 8. And she managed to break it, and I had that rod for years. But anyway, this one I have to recommend now. Charles hasn't broke his yet. I've yet to break this one. I haven't had it long, and it works good. But we're going to shoot it out against the Teton. So, and the Tetons are getting higher now. I want to say they're 60 something, 80 bucks. They're outrageous compared to what they used to be. They're still probably a good deal. You know, I had to give 100 for the one piece, but the 6.2, the 6.32, and the 5.22 SULs, I think we're all like $56 to $65. Now I think they're $65 to $85. I think they've jumped just due to the popularity of probably people like me. I don't know about me. I don't have enough subscribers. Like, subscribe, and share this video. But, you know, so now this is what becomes affordable. Now I'll tell you right now, if you have big hands and you don't like the feel of a grip being too small, you won't like this. I'm going to change mine just like I did on this rod pretty much. If you guys can see that, that's not how the 6.61 or 2 come. So I'm going to do the same thing with this rod. I've decided I like it enough. I'm not just going to get rid of the rod. I'm going to keep it. So I'm going to change that out. But this feel, and it doesn't matter if you palm like with, you know, if you palm like this, you won't like it probably. But if you put 2 fingers on each side of that trigger, or like me, I go up further because it, like if you choke up, like choking up on a bat, it just feels more balanced, and I get a better hold of the, you know, rod and reel. So that's the way I palm, and that feels good with any reel on this rod. It's just this part right here. So anyway, buckle up and hang on. Let's get into this shootout. Okay, well, how I'm going to start this, I'm going to start with this one since it's already got the bait on it. We're just going to see if the old, first thing is I'm going to see if the old spool will keep up with this one, or rods too. But so we're going to cast this out. Now, I will tell you that I have both set at like 6.5, as I've been fishing them, like I said, for almost a whole day and then a morning. I found that how I cast and, you know, to keep from backlashing seems to be the best setup. So there's an island out there. I'm going to try to hit that island. I probably won't make it that far, but so I'm going to start out, and I like to cast anytime I'm casting. For me, the ideal length is probably 8 to 12 inches. You want to be, you know, that's what, 6 inches. That's if you're getting into real tight spots. That's another thing. I'm gonna give you a little pointer right here. If you're going in and like there's a little log sticking out, and you want to hit that little spot, there's where you want to be, about 1 to 3 inches. You just want that bait like that, and you can learn to cast like a little accurate cast. Okay, if you're going for distance, I typically, that's probably from that to no more than that, especially on this little rod. You may not want to go that crazy, but on a bigger rod, you typically can just get more of a load up coming around, especially with like a lighter bait, and cast out. But you got a longer pendulum, you might lose a little accuracy. But for pretty much every cast I make, I like to be right in that sweet spot right there. probably actually 6 to 8 if you get real technical. 6 to 8 inches, no more than say 10, no more than a foot. And that's where I like to cast, so we're gonna cast. No backlash. You see how far it's getting? So make another couple casts, and I'm gonna try that other one. And we'll just see. And I'm doing side arms. I'll wing that one out there. See how far that's getting? I need you guys to keep a good eye for me how far that's getting. Let's do another one real quick. So yeah, I think I'm getting a little further each time I cast. I'm getting more confidence because I haven't really thrown these as hard as I could. I just fished with them. You know, I might throw them hard as I can one cast, and then I might just lob them the next. You can see I got that fairly tight. I could actually go a little looser. I didn't even put my thumb on it that time, but it's getting ways out there. See that? Let's just jump to the other one. Brake settings are the same, and I may need to adjust the brake settings for overall distance. I'm gonna use the same bait. It kind of wobbled, but hopefully you can see we're like right there. Okay, so not really any difference, I don't think. We may have to go to a lighter bait to see a difference. I'll show you again. So can you guys see that? Hopefully you can make that out. I would say that they're, with this bait, either rod, reel, they're the same. Like, I can't see a difference. I will tell you that this one feels like I can feel it loading up. The bait feels heavier on the rod, if that makes sense. Like it's a softer action. Like I can feel it loading up more. That one doesn't feel as heavy. The bait doesn't feel as heavy on that rod. So if I had to call it, and I'm gonna come back, I'm gonna switch them around and I'll show you what we're doing. If I had to call it just by that little shootout, this rod is gonna be able to throw down lighter. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put a 16th, that's an 1/8 ounce. I'm gonna put a 16th ounce on them, come back, we'll cast it. Then I'm gonna switch reels to the other rods, and then we'll try that, just so we got a good feel on what's what on all of it. So I'll be right back. Okay, here's the bait I had on. In comparison, just so you guys will see, I call it 1/8 ounce, but it is smaller than, that's the smallest mega bass, little baby Pop X. So it is smaller than that. That's a little bitty guy. And you see how far we were throwing it real good, real well. But then now we're going from what that guy was to this guy. Can you make out the difference? I would call this a 16th ounce. It's got one hook, so you got the weight gone there. It's definitely shorter, smaller overall bait. So I'm gonna throw it. I'm gonna start out on the smaller rod, but heavier spool, and then I'll probably switch them around a little bit more. So we're gonna see how far it'll go. Now these, you kind of see, I'm not getting near the distance. It's a lot lighter bait. I'm probably 20 foot shorter than with the heavier bait. I mean, it's still fishable, and I'm still able to yank it. You know, I could probably go a little bit lighter on the brakes. So you see this rod, it's definitely fishable, and I wouldn't really use a topper this small unless I was in tighter area, a little smaller water, so it would work. And I think I only have one of these. I'm gonna put it. There's a fish right there. Let's see if we can catch that fish with this bait before we go on to other things. You guys see that? I don't know if the camera pans out that far, but right over here, got some action going on. And I'll be honest, I don't usually use baits this small, because if you've seen how small a fish and how big a fish I'll catch on those next size up, which is like an 1/8 ounce, these 16th ounce, I won't be getting any more. They just, maybe I'll use, you know, like the ones I got for when me and Charles go to the little bittiest creeks and stuff. Oh! But ponds, any kind of like, I don't know, it's very small. You can catch pretty much any size bass on that small. I caught some real little bitty bass on those little baits. Let's put it on this combo and see what we can do. Bear with me here. Still got the, and I think I had to leave that on. It's got a split ring on it. I think I left it on just for the fact that it's got such a deep popping lip. It's hard to get a split ring or tie anything into that. So they already had a split ring on there. I just left it. It's hard to get that. Okay. Here we go. Who's ready? Oh, I could still be catching some topwater fish, I bet. Okay, that actually felt better than the other one. And it could be, probably is because of the spool. Once you get lighter, that lightweight, that gram difference probably makes a difference. Yeah, see that? I'm getting further out. So I really don't need to do much more testing other than if you guys want me to switch out for the rod so you get an idea. But I can feel the difference. I couldn't really tell any difference, but I'm zinging that on that other rod and reel combo, and this bait is not going near as far as it is with this one. And I don't think it's because this is honestly a touch stiffer rod. It is like an inch taller from here to the tip, but I think it's just because that lightweight spool gets the weight of the bait gets that spool going faster, which therefore lets it get out further. But I'll be back. I'm gonna switch them around and then I'll be back. All right, I'm back. Got them switched around. That took longer than I wanted, but I got it done. There's probably gonna be a good bite going on today. I gotta hurry up and get this video wrapped up so we can get to catching some big ones on another video. All right, just to kind of go over what I've just done. I took this rod and reel, and put on this rod. Same little bitty bait, but it's now on the lure killer. So we're going to see if the older PW, no, see how it's slow? It just, you can feel it dragging. Now I'm going to try to back the brakes off, but it already tells me that yes, once you get in these little 16th ounce, 2 grams or lighter baits, the weight does make a difference. But we're going to see. I'm going to cast. I still think though that maybe even with the 16th ounce, I'm getting more distance with this rod. And maybe it's just because it's stiffer. Maybe I need to actually put more oomph into that little rod. But this rod is perfect. Like, see that? Actually, this combo is still perfect. I'm getting out there. So let's put this on the, I mean, you guys tell me what you think. You're watching it go down. I feel maybe it's not still as good distance-wise as the newer reel, but I feel that rod helped that reel cast this little bait anyway. Let's see if this rod helped this reel or slowed it down. Like in my mind, it's definitely a softer rod, even though it's just a hair shorter. Would still help. Would be the better one of these two. But you never know. Let's try it. Cast that baby out. See that? They're right there. Now they're like even. So that tells me that this, when it comes to this little bait, even though I thought this would be the rod, this rod is probably lacking just a hair. See that? I'm actually getting pretty good. No, wait a minute. Maybe not. I'll put it this way. I think the rods are so close that you can't really. Okay, see where I'm getting right there? Mark that spot. Let's see what I get with this other one. Watch the rings, mark it. I mean, that feels good. I really can't tell a big difference. This one definitely feels better when I switch to this reel. That split ring is so hard to get on. It's hard to do in a hurry. That's why it's always better to have just two baits. I'll do it real quick. All right, where's that spot at? You guys see it? And it's already gone. Whoa. Pulled a little. Definitely I can feel a difference in my release point. Let's try that again. So yeah. Let's wrap this video up. Didn't really try anything overhead, did I? Yeah, about the same thing. Now I can feel this one dragging it down. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to back it off. I know I probably won't be able to do it much. That's the 6 and 6.5. Yeah, it started. I wouldn't want to leave it there. I cast and you could see that line. It's hard for you guys to make out, but I'll try to show you. I'll try to hold it back there so you guys can see. You can watch that line just jump off the spool. It wasn't backlashing. See that? I don't know if you guys can make that out. It just, and I mean that, you don't want that. If you're trying to go out and cast all day, it's got a little more distance, but if you're trying to do that all day, you're going to backlash. So one click up with the 6.5. 6 is just a little too loose on this spool. So yeah, it pulled that out. There's none of that little fluff isn't there. And that's why I like mine trouble-free. For casting little tests, it might be okay to run a little loose like the other way, but so 6.5 is where that needs to be. I guess I could try the other one just to double check it on this one. I would not want to go any lighter. You might be able to go to 6 on an 1/8 ounce. Let's try this just to see what's going on. I'm going to put it on and back it off like I did the other one. In theory, it's a lighter spool. It should be able to have a little lighter braking. I don't know, in my mind anyway. Maybe not in theory, in my mind. The way my mind works. I just saw a touch and then it went away. It wasn't as bad as the other one. We'll try it again. I might be able to do this one at 6. Which therefore should make it, but it may not change hardly any difference in distance. No, it's same thing. You could kind of do it, but you can see it. So that's why 6.5. I mean, that's that fine tune. It's not going to jump up. That way, if you do get in the wind, you know, there's no wind. If I go out and I cast into the wind, it may start fluffing up then, but it shouldn't truly backlash. If you're already like right on that verge and then you hit the wind, throw into the wind, it'll be game over. So all right, let's wrap this video up. I've done enough casting there and tried them over the period. Honestly, the rods, they're so close. If you like a little more soft, forgiving, feeling rod, I'd recommend this one still, even though it's a little more money. Got to get, there we go. That is a good fish. Oh yeah, stay on. Just what I was hoping. So a head shakes. Back the boat up, keep it from going over there. Coming towards us. Coming right towards this boat. There he is. That is a nice bass. Stay hooked. You guys make him out. Sit right there. See if we can get him in. Got stuff in the way. Yes, 2.5, 3-pounder. Yes, yes, yes. Look what we did it on. My favorite rod and reel combo. Probably my favorite swim bait size and overall kind of color. This color seems to work. I got them off AliExpress. I'm not sure where that jig head came from. It actually had a skirt on it at one time. I need to bend that back down. Whew, okay, I am going to get a pick. That's why I got my phone, just for days like this. We might get a weight on it, we might not, but I'll be back. Got my hands all wet. Yeah.